Hello all, we are going to learn closures today. Okay, I hope already watched. If you get a chance to watch this topic in Namaste JavaScript by Akshay Saini, hopefully you understand everything. But here I will try to explain one more time for our students. Let's see. Hello team, are you ready to learn closures?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
just for me, just give a great respect to Akshay Saini. Uh, just loudly say closures like same as Akshay saying. Okay.
I was super excited about this topic, and by the end, closures. I was.
Tell me everyone.
Closures.
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 Closure.
Okay, fine. I don't want to trouble you. Yes, we are going to learn closures today. This is the most interesting topic. Again, another topic is their event loop. That is again a super interesting topic in JavaScript. Okay, let's see. No problem. I hope you most of you already watched that video and you understand. Let me try to explain one more time for my happiness. Okay, so here this is like you're running. So most of the time I forgot this spelling closure. Okay, fine. So if you see, um, now I'm just writing a simple function. That is or even you can take simply a or b or something. That is fine. So here, from this function, we can return a number. So if you want, what we can do, here I'm just declaring another variable, var or later constant, whatever it is, var. I'm just putting like an output. So if whenever we invoke this function, right, what is there inside the that variable called out, or we can say let's take it as a x or triple x. You tell me what is the value of triple x now in this program?
Out. Then
Okay,
Yes.
everyone knows that. So even we can return strings, right? Okay, hello. Now what will be the value of the triple x?
Hello.
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 Even we can return
Function.
arrays also. Okay, let's go with one by one. So we can return arrays
Array.
also. So what will be the value of triple x? It is
Array.
so for beginners it will be more important. So I'm just trying to explain in detail. So it will be array, and even we can return object as well. Okay? Even we can return object as well. Suppose a colon 10 and b colon 20. Okay? So it is going to return that value so that triple x will hold that object information and it will print in the output. So this is also fine. Everyone knows about this. So now we are going to do something interesting. That is, we can return a function from another function. Yes. Okay. Here, what I'm doing, I'm just writing another function, or even you can invoke inside because I think already we have seen those things. So now what we can do, we can return function. Right now, I'm just declaring the same line function. The function name is like I'm just giving triple A. So inside that, what is there? I'm just simply giving console.log. Okay, I'm triple A. That's it. So now observe carefully. Observe carefully. So previously we have written value number, we have written string, we have written array, we have written object, so that the value of triple x will be same as what we have written. So now what will be the value of that triple x? Tell me.
Function.
Function. So it will return that function definition. So it will hold that function definition. So even if you just check that thing in the memory, so just put a debugger before executing that. So in the global scope, what is the variable? We have triple X, right? So I think it's better to take A, just so that it will be visible on the top. So I'm just refreshing one more time. So observe carefully. What is there inside the global scope? What is the value of A? What is the value of A?
Function people.
Yeah, function which you have returned from the hello function. That is triple A. Or even if you want, we can change this name for differentiation between this variable and that. So that please do practice in the same way so that you will get familiar. So if you see what are happening, whenever you return a function, the value of A will be that function so that it is displaying that function information in the console.log if you just execute that line. So far this is very clear for everyone. So now what we are doing, so if it is a function we can invoke it, right? So this is A, you can invoke it. So what will happen once you invoke the function A? So here A, tell me.
I am here.
I am
Triple.
I'm from, okay, triple A. I'm from, okay, change it. I'm from triple X. X. So it will, whenever you invoke the function, yes, it will execute that function so that you will get the result as expected, that we don't have any problem. So it is saying that I am from triple X. So now we are going to enter into some interesting things. So I will ask one more thing here. So if I do this, instead of executing this at line number 23, if I invoke that function something like this, okay, what will happen? Just tell me. Yeah, tell me what will be the output for this program.
Same output, sir.
Think one more time. Okay, everyone is going with the same output. It is going to display I am from triple X. So okay, I'm just commenting this one also to avoid the confusion. Just observe carefully. Just recollect what you have learned from hosting, what you have learned from execution context, what will happen in the call stack. Think properly. Memory allocation phase, execution phase. Then tell me.
I think understand.
Here, here what will happen? Whenever I execute the program, what is the result of this program in the browser? That is what. Tell me. Okay, here what is the value of A in the memory at line number 13? Whenever we are invoking this one, what is the value of A in the memory?
function definition, sir.
Function definition.
Reflection.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see.
Yes, sir.
How many of you think that it's a function definition at line number 13?
Function triplex definition, sir. Function triplex definition.
Okay, do one thing. I'm just giving 2 minutes of time. Take a pen and paper or pencil and paper, whatever it is. Go with the memory allocation phase and execution phase, and now tell me what is the answer. Quickly. Don't say blindly. Whatever you are saying, that should have a proof. Okay. I hope you understand what is a memory allocation phase, what is an execution phase. Okay, so based on that, tell me what will happen for this program. Tell me what will be the output for this program. Just draw call stack, execution context, memory allocation phase, execution phase, paper, whatever it is, and tell me what will happen for this.
Value would be undefined, sir, first.
Value would be undefined.
So A value is undefined.
The value is undefined. Why undefined?
At the time of execution phase, the first line,
Mhm.
it just hold a uh, special placeholder undefined for the variable.
Very good. Okay, let's see. I don't know what is okay. What about remaining people? What will be the value of A at that moment? Because I'm saying whenever you are attending interview in a JavaScript, okay, don't say answers on the fly. So you should recollect memory allocation phase and execution phase and think properly and give me the answer. Because that's why many people think that I have given right answer in the interview, but I got failed. No, because JavaScript will give you lots of scope to confuse you in simple things also. Okay, everyone done? Still your answer is I am from triple X or something else, undefined or something here. If you need more time, okay, no problem. Take your own time and tell me. Pankaj done.
I think it will give a error, sir. Type error.
Why?
Function is not defined.
Function is not defined. Why function is not defined? Already we have defined.
No,
Tell me clearly with
it
proof.
can be accessible after 21st line. Before only we are trying to access it.
Okay, before line number 21, what will be the value of A?
It's undefined.
Yeah, if it is undefined, is it possible to invoke that one?
No,
No? Sure, everyone?
it does not have any function, right? It's have a special holder, undefined. That's the reason it will throw an error. It is not a function like that.
A is not a function.
Error. If you
A is not a
Function.
function. But previously, why you said it will be display I am from triple X?
By mistake.
No. No, the problem is JavaScript. Whenever you are giving answer, just remember that we have two phases. Okay, if you do more and more and more practice, you can visualize within seconds. If you are not doing practice enough practice, of course you are doing practice, I know. If you are not doing enough and means more and more practice, you can't visualize within seconds or within like minute. So what you understood from this? What you understood from this? You should do more and more and practice so that in interview you can visualize everything, what is happening in the call stack, what is happening in the global execution context, what is happening in the execution context, everything you can visualize. Otherwise, I'm saying it's very, very difficult to attend the JavaScript interview because lots of twists and turns are there. Okay, now everyone is clear that why it is undefined and why it is showing a is not a function.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Because just go one by one. So first it will allocate first in the memory allocation phase. It is not going to take any action. It will allocate memory for hello. It will hold the information of that function, and then it will create a variable a in the global execution context in the window object, but the value of a is undefined.
Undefined.
So now it will start execution. At the time of executing this one, what is there inside the A? Just undefined. So is it possible for us to invoke undefined? No. That's why it is saying that A is not a function. But after that, suppose if you don't do this mistake, so here, okay, already we have allocated memory for the function in the memory allocation phase. Now it will go to this one, and whenever you invoke this hello function, it will return this triple x, and the value of a will be triple x function, right? So after that only you can invoke the function. Understood, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Clearly, don't say
Yeah.
blindly or namesake. Understood, everyone? Clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. I'm saying so. Please do more and more and more and practice. Okay, JavaScript is like it will become hell if you don't do practice. If you just do practice more and more, you will fall in love with the JavaScript. Okay, now let's enter into the closures. Okay, so fine. Sorry for just deviating from closures topic because I got this idea. Let's see what you will answer for this one. Okay, so don't say answers blindly. That is very important. Fine. So we know that whenever we invoke this function hello, it is going to return the function triple x, and it will the value of a will be the function definition. So we can invoke that function. So this is what we understand simply so far. So then various closure. Already we have spent 10-15 minutes. Still we didn't see closure. So now observe carefully. Observe carefully. Here. So inside the triple x, I'm just declaring another variable that is called. Just tell me what is the name of that variable. What we can do? Just suggest me variable name. Okay, let's go with the p. What is the value of p? The 100. Okay. Otherwise, let me make it simple like Akshay Saini. Okay. Simple one. I'm just creating a function a. So it is going to return function b. Okay. So here var x is equal to, we are invoking the function a. Then it's very, very simple. So now tell me what will be the output for x. Tell me what will be the output for x.
Function based.
Function B.
Yeah, fantastic. So now what I'm doing here, I'm just declaring a variable, okay, variable k, and this value will be 100. Okay, observe carefully. No problem. So now I'm doing console.log of k. Now tell me What will be the output for this program?
Still it is function B, sir.
Function definition.
Function definition, sir.
So now if I invoke, what will happen?
100.
100.
Valuable.
Very good. Now I'm just commenting this. So here, whenever we invoke A, it is going to return the function B, and it has local variable K, and it can access easily. We don't have a problem. So just let's see what is there inside the execution context so that we can understand closures easily, because so far we don't have a closure in our code. So if you see, whenever let me go to this line first. So before invoking A, we have only global scope. In global scope, we have a variable function A that have a function definition, and the value of x will be undefined. So every time I'm just using this variable names. Okay, just scroll down and find out value of x in an alphabetical order. No, it's not showing. Just a minute. It's better to go with the C. Just refresh. So don't get confused, because I did a lot of changes. Just hold on and let's see what is the value of A. That is a function definition, right? And what is the value of C? That is undefined. Okay, now whenever we invoke, what will happen? Tell me, everyone. Whenever we invoke a function, what will happen?
Execution context.
Execution context.
Yes, it will create an execution context in the call stack. It will create an execution context in the call stack, and we will get a local scope, right?
Yes, sir.
Local scope. And now here we are not, here the execution context is for A, not for B, right? Observe
Yes.
carefully. So
Yes, sir.
and it is going to return this function.
Function B.
Okay, where is that function B? Where is that function
In
B?
a local. It is in local.
In variables
Inside A.
C.
Where is that? Are you able to find that B? Anywhere? This is the window object. This is the window object. This is the reference to the window object.
Okay.
Where is B? So the surprising thing is, whenever you are returning, that is not there in the scope actually. It will just return whenever we execute that. Okay. Got it? Suppose whenever you are return 10. So it is not going to allocate memory for 10. It is just return that 10 value on the fly. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
That's why you are not able to see B inside the scope. Okay. Now whenever you execute this return statement, so at the time it will read the syntax and it will return that function definition. Okay. So that now once you come out of the function, and now go and check what is there in the global scope inside C. What is there?
B.
So we got the function B. So now if you can invoke this C, so it is going to refer what you have written, that function, so that now whenever you invoke C, what will happen? Whether it will create an execution context or not.
Yes, sir.
So if you
Function.
see, yeah, right now we came to global execution context. That execution context for A is already gone from the memory, and whenever we invoke this C, it is indirectly referring to the function B, right? Function B. Now whenever I invoke C again, it is creating execution context for what?
B.
B, because C is referring to
B.
B, which you have written. So what is there inside the B?
console log.
Variables are equal to
Yeah.
100.
Again, it will go for memory allocation phase and execution
Execution.
phase.
Execution.
So it will allocate a memory for k. What is the value of k? Initially
And
undefined in the memory allocation phase. And whenever we go to execution phase, what will happen? The value of what is the value of k?
100.
100.
100. Are you able to see any closure kind of thing here?
No, sir.
Fantastic. So now it is going to print what is the value of k. So right now, so far we didn't see any closure. But here, when closure will come into the picture is whenever this function b, whenever this function b is going to try to access a variable from its parent. So if you see, now I'm just creating another variable that is called j, that is a 777. Okay, what is that? 777. So now I'm just trying to access console.log of k. After that, what I'm trying? Console.log of
J. J.
so whenever this inner function is trying to access a variable from its parent, its lexical parent, right? We understood lexical scope, right? This function b lexically inside, tell me.
Function
Function
The
A.
function A.
Function a lexically inside
Global scope.
global scope.
Global.
Fantastic. So whenever this inner function is trying to access a variable or a function from its lexical parent, at the time it will form a closure. Now observe carefully. I'm just going to execute step by step. Now you will see the closure. So now, okay, here, okay, now we are executing function A. Okay. So right now nothing is there in the call stack apart from the global execution context. Whenever we execute, what will happen? Observe carefully, observe carefully. What happened? It is created
Execution context for A. Function A.
execution context for A. Okay. And what is there inside A? That is
J is
A
undefined.
undefined.
J
A
undefined.
undefined.
undefined. So far we didn't see closure. Okay. So now just execute. Return function is there, right? So
Yes,
function, whenever you are returning the function, it will return the whole script on the fly, right? On the fly.
yes, sir. Yes.
We have written. So once we have written that one, the execution context of A is gone, right? Already.
Yeah, it comes.
Execution context of A is already gone. So still so far we didn't see a closure. Students see closure. So now what is there inside C? Let's see. Let's check in the global scope. C. What is
Function.
there? It is
Function.
referring to a B.
Function.
Observe carefully. B. So just scroll down. Just scroll down. It is saying scopes, right?
Yes, sir.
So just open it. Open it. Are
Closure.
you able to see a closure here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because observe carefully, previously, whenever you written a function b, without accessing a variable from its lexical scope, it is not going to form a closure. Okay, I will show you one more time. Okay, I will show you. Here, suppose the variable j is already there. I'm just removing this one. Observe carefully. I'm just removing. That means I'm not trying to access any variable from my lexical parent.
Parent.
So what we understand, whenever it is returning, I said it is just returning on the fly, right? There is no memory for that. But even though it is returning, it will take care of everything. JavaScript is that much beautiful. So let's see again. We are invoking the function A. Okay, it is just allocated memory for the J, and that is undefined. And now we are returning this function B. Okay, observe carefully. Now let's check what is there inside C. what is there inside C. Just open the global scope. So C, are you able to see any previously? What? How many scopes are there?
2.
Two.
Two scopes.
Two. Right now, only one scope. That is a global scope. Because even though the variable j is defined inside A, but this a function, inner function B is not trying to access that. That's why no need to create a closure. No need to create a closure. No need to give that information to that B whenever you are returning. But observe carefully now again. If I try to access, right? If I try to access, that means parents always, because maybe we don't think most of the times like parents not are not giving anything, okay, parents are not good, maybe I didn't get a better parents, like that some foolish people will think that. But always observe carefully, this is a child, right? This is the child, this is the parent. So whenever the parent realize that this child need parent help, always they will come in a different form. Okay, that is called a closure. Okay, here simply. So now this child function called B is trying to access a variable j, maybe after some time, because it is returning to this function C, and you are invoking this that function C anytime in future, anytime in future. But in that situation also, it will provide a reference to this variable j. So even though you execute this function B, even though you execute this function B by returning to external scope, that is global scope, and even you can execute after 100 lines of code, 1000 lines of code, still it is not going to remove this memory for that. So it will, that garbage collector is not going to clean that, because that parent will say that okay, sometime in future after 10 years or 20 years my kid will come for that information, so that please don't remove that information from the memory, like that. So it will be there. So now what will happen, that information inside. So now if you just refresh, so whenever we are returning a function, observe carefully, whenever we are returning a function from another function, so if you are accessing any variable inside the parent's lexical scope, it will form a closure and it will return to you. So now again I'm just executing the function A, so that it is just allocated a memory for J, and it has written the function B for us. Okay, and once you come out of that function, the execution context is gone, right? Execution context is gone. That means it is removed everything, it is popped out, it is deallocated all the memory. But so this function, we have written this function to another scope. Maybe in future if someone will try to execute this function B, at the time we need to provide this information. So for that, this JavaScript engine will hold that information in the form of closure. So observe carefully now the global scope. Before invoking the C, you will see how many scopes here? Two scopes. One is global scope, that is
Scope.
God, always with us. Another one is
Closure.
closure. Closure is like our parents. Okay. So now tell me, what is a closure?
Function along with its lexical scope bundled together to form a closure.
That's what Akshay Saini explained in clearly.
Yes,
So
sir.
here, so this is the function. This is the function forms a close. Okay, function along with its
Lexical environment.
lexical environment forms a
Closure.
Closure.
that's it. So simply, so maybe if you are there in India, you can access resources from your house, right? Suppose you are moving from India to USA. At the time also, our parents will prepare some pickles and everything. You will get all the references. Even if you come back to India after 10 years or 20 years, 100 years, okay, you can access your home, you can access your land, right? That's what the closure is. So simply, a closure is a function along with lexical scope, it will form a closure. Okay, fine. Understood everyone so far?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? So tell me clearly. If you don't understand, I will explain one more time. Okay, I will ask one by one. Or ping me, everyone, whether you understood or not. Who are watching this video by mistake, just ping me in the comment section whether you understood or not. Okay, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So I will show you some interesting things. Okay. So we are returning this function on the fly, right? On the fly. That's why we are not able to see the closure inside the execution context of A, right? So let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. What I'm doing here, I'm just declaring a var B, and what I'm doing, I'm just mentioning the function. Okay. Same thing. So so maybe while attending this session, it will be difficult for you to understand what I'm doing, but please do practice the same way so that you will understand clearly. So what I did, anyone can explain?
Defined a function with a variable name and return the variable.
So previously we are just returning the function on the fly, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I just,
Storing the function in a variable.
yeah, I'm just storing a function inside a variable and just returning that
Returning the
variable,
variable. Yes.
right? So now if you see, we can invoke this function inside A also, right? Or not?
So yes, sir. We can.
You can invoke. You can invoke. Let's see. Things will be somewhat interesting. Just refresh. So right now what I'm doing, I'm invoking function A, that is a parent function. So now see, we have B and J, right? Right now B
Yes, sir.
in a memory allocation phase, even
Undefined.
though it is a function, it will be undefined. J is also undefined. Go. Now what happened? J value is 777 and B value is
Function.
function. Now I'm just invoking the function B. I'm just invoking the function. Observe carefully. We have global execution context. On top of that, we have
Execution context
context
for
of
A.
A. Now we are executing, we are invoking function B. Okay, we are invoking function B. Observe carefully. Are you able to see anything called closure in the scope?
Yes. Yes, sir. Above the global.
Right?
Yes.
So whenever you invoke this function B, so it is allocated memory for K, right? That is the local scope of function B.
Function B. Yes.
But from where it is getting this value of J? From where it is getting
From closure.
from closure. Who is providing that closure? That parent, right?
Parent. Yes, sir.
So you are able to see that. What is there inside the closure?
J value.
J, and the value of J is 777.
777.
So that if you can do practice in this way, you will get better understanding. So now, fine, you can access it. You can access it. Okay, now I will ask you one more question. Hopefully, you will answer this one because already you have watched accessing this. So now here, what I'm doing, J is equal to 888. Okay, what is that? J is equal to 888. Even I'm not invoking this one. Observe carefully. Observe carefully. Okay, now tell me, whenever I invoke C, what will be the value? What will be the output for this program?
Hundred triple eight.
100 and triple eight?
Function B, sir.
Oh, I'm just invoking C. Invoking. I'm just
Yes, sir.
invoking. Tell me.
Yes, sir. 100 and triple eight.
100 triple eight.
Triple eight or triple seven?
Triple eight, sir.
And triplets, sir.
Why triple eight? Why not triple seven?
Because this
It is 12.
it is referring for the reference value, sir, for J,
Yeah, because
not the value.
yeah, whenever we are returning B, because it is not going to remember this value triple eight or triple seven. So
Yes,
it will hold the reference of
J.
J. So what you are returning? J. What you are returning? We are returning the function B. Inside we are trying to access J, right? So
Yes,
it
sir.
will return that reference. It will hold that reference. So if you change the value, definitely you will get the same latest value. Very good. Just go to the console. Refresh one more time. So you got the answer. So very good, very good, very good. Everyone. So this is the advantage, because if you watch Akshay Saini video and if you join, then it's going to be much more easy for you. Okay, it's really easy for me especially. So now let's do one more thing. Are you ready or you're tired?
Ready,
Yes,
sir.
Ready? Huh? Sure. Okay. So observe
sir.
carefully. I'm just trying to add some more complex things. So let me remove everything and rewrite so that it will be easy for you. Okay. Function x. Okay. What is this? Function
Yes.
x. Here we have a variable called a equal to 10. And again here one more function is there, that is y. Okay. One more function is there, that is y. Here again I'm just doing where b is equal to 111. Okay. Inside that again I'm just declaring one more function. Okay. Here I'm just doing where c is equal to 555. Observe carefully. So now what I'm doing, sometimes even I also fall into confusion. So here, observe carefully, we have a function x. Inside we have a function y. We have a function y. So inside the function y, we have function
Z.
so this is a grandparent and parent and child.
Child.
Okay. So here, if you try to access, so inside function a, what I am doing, I will try to invoke z also. Okay, just trying to invoke z also. So this is somewhat interesting and complex. Please try to practice. Okay, we have three functions. One is x. Inside that we have
Y.
another function, that is y. Inside that we have another function called
Z.
z. So now if I try to access C, so just tell me, whenever we execute z, it is going to be have any closure for that from their parents?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Okay. If I try to do console.log of b, how many closures will be have?
One closure, sir.
One
One
closer.
closure.
One closure. If I try to access a, what will happen?
Closure.
Closure six,
Yeah.
sir.
So that means, yeah, it will have another closure. So this is the simple function z. So closure means function
With its lexical scope.
lexical scope. That means this is also what is the lexical scope of z? Tell me.
Y.
Why, sir?
Immediately y.
Y.
What is the
What?
lexical parent of x? Sorry,
Global
lexical
Hmm.
parent of y is x.
X. Yes, sir.
Lexical parent of x is
Global.
global
Global
scope.
scope.
So that whenever we are trying to access b, it will form a closure
With,
with the help of y. Whenever you try to access a, it will form a closure with the help
with the
of
help of X.
x. So now if I invoke this function, observe carefully, some interesting things will happen in the browser. So just refresh, go to the sources, just put a breakpoint here. So right now we have only global execution context. Whenever we are invoking x, observe carefully. So we have execution context for x.
X. Yes, sir.
And what will be there inside the local scope? Just a, that is undefined, and y already a function definition. So now, so far we don't have any closure. Now we are invoking y.
Y.
How many closures are there for y?
One closure, sir.
One
Closure of
closure.
X.
Because we are trying to access variable a inside children of y. Observe
Yes.
carefully, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, because it JavaScript understand easily, because yeah, he is trying to invoke y. So in future he may execute z also, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
So that the closure always be ready for us. So now if I invoke z, how many closures are there?
Two closures. Closure of Y.
Okay, so if you just increase this level of chain, so you can increase closures, right?
Closures. Yes, sir.
So observe carefully one more time. Suppose if you don't access these things, so if
No
suppose
closure.
No closures.
will not form any closure. It is very important. But still, definition is the closure is function along with its lexical scope will form
Forms.
a closure. So let me go and execute that function z. So if you see, there is no closure inside the scope, because this function z anywhere is not trying to access the variables from y, and we don't have anything it is trying to access from x also, right? So now tell me, what will happen if you try to access variables from global scope? You know,
Closure will be there, sir.
PTT.
Forms a closure.
Will form a closure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone tell me. Now this is the final question. We can close it. Whether it will form a closure or not.
Anyway, it's a local lexical environment.
Just ping me. Everyone. If it is forms a closure, just ping me C. If it is not, N. If you don't know, D. Quickly. Okay. Pankaj said no. Shivaprasad said closures. Sujata said no. Remaining people, we are feeling hungry. It's already 9:30. Okay, let's see what will happen. Just refresh. Let's reach till we execute Z, right? Just a minute. Okay, sorry. I just went to next line. Okay, otherwise, let me put a breakpoint here directly. So right now we have Y in the global in the call stack. Whenever we invoke that, we have Z also, right? Are you able to see any closure here? Shiva?
No, sir.
No, because global scope you don't need to provide anything. Like global scope is always be there. You don't need to specify any closure kind of thing. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir, got it.
Because that is the end. That is a whole
Ah,
universe.
yes, sir.
So if global execution context is not there, we can't do anything, right?
Yes, sir.
So no sense. So for whenever you are trying to access a variable from global scope from any inner function, it is not going to form any closure. So when it will form a closure, just like if you create any function inside any function, inside any function, inside any function. But because
If there is no execution context for that function variable or something, so it will form a closure.
yes, because that execution context for the function will popped out, right? Popped
Yes,
out.
sir. Yes, yes.
So because it will be popped out, but in future we need that information. That's why it will form a closure. If it is already there in the global scope, we don't need to create any separate reference for that, right?
Yes,
Already
sir.
it is there. That's why this is the again interesting thing. So that's all for today. Already time already done. Bye bye.